So Gen 4 is out in Pokemon Go. And right now, only 26 species are currently in the game, but we do have Game Master information on them, so we know their stats and their move pools, so we can easily compare them to other Pokemon. Well, up ahead is a clip from my livestream SwagTips, where I go over every single Gen 4 Pokemon and how they compare to the other Pokemon in the metagame for Pokemon Go. This is actually the second part of a series, so if you missed the first part or you want to catch those early on Pokemon, we'll link in the description to that first video. This video will be covering Pokemon's number 428 to 462, which is Lopunny through Magnezone. Big ticket items here are going to be Weavile, Magnezone, and Garchomp. So enjoy. Going on down, we got Lopunny. Despite being a interesting bunny Pokemon, it's got 156 attack stats, so nothing really saving it there. We got Mismagius, and Mismagius is actually kind of interesting. I wish I had the graph saved, but I think I deleted it on accident. But I graphed out a bunch of unique counters to Mewtwo, like highlighting Gen 4 Pokemon, and I made previous content on this. Mismagius actually stands out a bit by being a ghost-type Pokemon that's like a decent attacker, so of course Gengar, Busted, Banette, Glass Cannon too. But Mismagius is like a well-rounded ghost-type, which is something that we've been lacking. Could take a few hits and deal good damage. Pretty hyped there for Mismagius. One thing that's really working against it is all the teaser information seems to point to Giratina being our first raid boss for Gen 4, like the tier 5 raid boss for Gen 4. So Giratina is a bulky ghost type Pokemon. Its move pool isn't that good. I'll get into that in a bit. And I haven't run simulations on it, truth be told. Pretty sure it's going to do Mismagius's job a little bit better just by virtue of being a busted stat legendary Pokemon. So we'll see what the future has in store for Mismagius, because it's definitely going to need a little bit more of a review since Giratina got such a unique move pool. Actually, I could look at that right now. Later can be now. So we got Mismagius, and yeah, oh wow, Shadow Sneak is that bad. Let's just start by DPS then. Dang, a little shocked here. Yeah, I didn't realize how grievous the Giratina nerf was by having Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak is such a bad charge move that Dragon Claw is actually better. And as far as the Giratina that we're going to get from raid bosses, my assumption is it's going to be the altered form, because the PPO has been using the altered form. Even though the origin form is the origin form, it's not the form that you first encounter in the games. The altered form is. The origin form is like a special kind of thing, so I don't know how Niantic's going to handle that. But the altered form, yeah, geez, only 13.9 DPS. That's really bad. That's worse than Ghastly. That's pretty bad. Oh, man. Giratina, rip. Press F in chat for Giratina, please. Like, dang. Mismagius, I will say, is a Gen 4 winner now. Before it was like a Gen 4, like, silver medalist, I'd say Mismagius is a Gen 4 winner. Good job, Mismagius. Good job having Giratina be bad. But yeah, Mismagius is well-rounded. It can actually take some hits. It's not weak to psychic type damage, which is huge for it. It does decent damage. So yeah, Mismagius, definitely not like a super busted must power up Pokemon, but definitely a decent Pokemon to have. So moving on down, we got Honchkrow. And Honchkrow's in a pretty interesting position. It's not bad, but it's not good. I'd say it's definitely a silver medalist. It's a dark type Pokemon, so it, faces stiff competition from Tyranitar, and then dark type overlaps with ghost type, so it faces competition from every ghost type Pokemon. Every ghost type Pokemon other than Giratina, am I right? So as a flying type, it was going to have some hype because it does have Sky Attack in its move pool, but it got Brave Bird. And Brave Bird is terrible. So it has no makings in the Pokemon Go world as a flying type DPS. It just doesn't have Sky Attack, and that's basically all that can be said there. But it does have Snarl and Dark Pulse, which isn't bad. And if you remember from that Gen 4 Mewtwo counter content I did, Honchkrow is a decent dark type DPS. Overall, I think Tyranitar is going to be a better dark type Pokemon than it. Even if it does have slightly higher DPS than Tyranitar, it still would only have slightly DPS higher than Tyranitar. So yeah, I don't know. Decent dark type Pokemon. People that are looking to do like a unique 6 Pokemon clear. People that are into Poke Draft. Probably very excited for Honchkrow. It's an okay Pokemon. I mean, we certainly have the Murkrows for it, if anything. Good fodder. Per ugly, not so good. Chingaling's a baby, so Skunk Tank, not that good. Bronzong, not that good. Mime Jr., Happiny, Bonsly, They're all babies. Not that good. And you might be thinking like, Happiny, hey, Chansey is a good defender. And that's like the baby Blissey, right? Well, now this is the baby Chansey. And I've already ran simulations on this in the past. And this was before all the nerfage that happened. And yeah, Happiny's not happening. Chatot, not that impressive. Spiritomb has some hype in the main series games, especially when it came out, as being like this no weakness Pokemon, but not that impressive in Go. And now it does have weaknesses because effectiveness has changed since the deep past. So yeah, not even that good of a defender. So sorry, Spiritomb. And then we have our next gold medalist here. We got Garchomp, a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. So it's like, you know, Salamence, Dragonite, Metagross, Tyranitar. We got Garchomp, the land shark Pokemon here. I don't know if that's its like actual classification. It might actually be land shark. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll look up on Bulbapedia to see if it says land shark. And yeah, it actually won in both categories. So it's a dragon and ground type Pokemon. And it got Dragon Tail and Mudshot, both good moves, both categories. And it got Outrage and Earthquake. So both good moves. Good job, Garchomp, for not being garbage. Very respectable Pokemon. In fact, it might be one of the better ground-type Pokemon in the game, especially since Rhyperior only got Earthquake as well, so it like puts it in competition a little bit more easily. We were thinking Rhyperior might get Drill Run. Spoiler alert, Rhyperior didn't get Drill Run, so Earthquake. Garchomp, it's like Flygon, but good. You know, Flygon, it's got the triple resist to electric, so you're like, yeah, Flygon's gotta be good. But then I make my swag graphs, and you see that it's actually kind of garbage. This is like Flygon, but not garbage. So, excellent work. Being yourself, Garchomp. Good job. Alright, go on. Then we got Munchlax, baby Pokemon. Not standing out. And then we got Lucario. And Lucario did not win. Lucario is a Gen 4 loser. I just want to highlight it because it is a fan favorite. Everybody loves Lucario, but Lucario is currently bad in Pokemon Go. Its stats are pretty decent. They're kind of like fall in line with Breloom in a way. I think the attack stat's a little bit lower than Breloom, but it's got like, it's in a Breloom position. It's got good resistances because of steel typing, so it's like a little tankier than Breloom. But yeah, so what would make Lucario better is having a good move pool, and it's got a mediocre one. Counter is a win. It's a good fast move, but close combat kind of puts it in line with Heracross. Yeah, at best, this guy's going to be a maybe better Heracross, but Heracross is already a third-rate fighting type Pokemon, so Lucario is also a third-rate fighting type Pokemon. Two of the moves that I mentioned before that were like data mined but not implemented are fighting type attacks. You got Drain Punch and Superpower. So in the future, Lucario could potentially get those moves as charge moves, and it could bring it up in viability. And then Lucario does have Aura Sphere as a signature move. It's not in Pokemon Go right now, but it definitely has some high viability as a community day move. I mean, Lucario for sure in the future, mark my words, is going to be a community day Pokemon. But in its current state, its current form, it's kind of mediocre. Yeah, so sorry, Lucario. We all love you, but you're just not the top of woo right now. You're the low of woo. So, sucks. Alright, so moving on down, we got Hippowdon. And Hippowdon doesn't look like a Gen 4 winner at first, but then you see its bulk. 239 HP, 191 defense, 201 attack is respectable. Hippowdon's not going to be a good attacker, but it's going to be a really good gym defender. I haven't done a full gym defense analysis yet for Gen 4. It's not exactly that I'm waiting for more updates. I've just got a lot of work on my table as it is right now, and gym defense is kind of a low priority, truth be told. Hippowdon definitely is going to be one of the better gym defenders. To make it even better, to pump its swag up a little bit more, it got Body Slam, which is quote-unquote the best gym defense charge move. Yeah, and if you want to trick up your opponents a little bit, you could run Stone Edge, pop them in the face with that surprise rock type damage. So yeah, overall, I think that Hippowdon's going to be a very solid gym defender. I need to do more in-depth analysis on it, in the future, because we know that a large portion of gym defense comes down to your CP range, viability, and stuff like that. And 3,000, truth be told, isn't a very good number for CP range viability, so might be something that stings Hippowdon a little bit. But for pre-raid gym defense, I think Hippowdon's definitely going to see some usage. But don't quote me super hard on it. I still have to do all the fun stuff with that to verify. But initial kind of sweeps makes it look really good. We got Drapion, and Drapion's a really cool Pokemon. Like, I don't know, I just like the way it looks. I mean, it's weird. I don't know. I like Drapion. Drapion's not good in Pokemon Go, though. So, rip Drapion. Toxicroak, also cool. Not good. Carnivine is a regional to Southeastern America. Yeah. Lumineon, not good. Manatike, baby form. Abomasnow, not very good. But one thing I do want to highlight about Abomasnow, very fun about this Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Just look how angry it is. Like, this is our faces when we saw Giratina's move pool. Am I right? He just looks so fed up with literally everything. Just, done. The extra spice, which makes me super happy about Abomasnow, is its move pool. Because, it gets powdered snow, razor leaf, whatever. It's grass, ice, who cares? But it learns outrage. It learns outrage. Right? And you see this face, and you see that it learns outrage, and it just makes sense. Like, this guy is just fed up with everything. He is outraged, and he knows outrage. That warms my heart. That thaws the ice of my heart. That is Abomasnow. No, Abomasnow is pure rage. Double weak to fire type, but full of fire itself. But yeah, not a good attacker. Don't invest in Abomasnow. Alright, so we got another gold medalist here. Another special Pokemon. We got Weavile. And Weavile's really interesting. So it's a fan favorite. I mean, it's like, the incarnation of Edge. Everybody that wanted Sneasel to be good, they all prayed together, and the energy of their wishes created a viable evolution. And that viable evolution is Weavile. So Weavile's kind of blessed. It's got good attack stat. It's definitely like glass cannon kind of stats here. Ice Shard and Feint Attack. Or Feint Attack. Both really good fast moves for Ice and Dark. And then for charge moves, it got Avalanche and Foul Play, which are the two best charge moves in each category. It also got Focus Blast. You can ignore Focus Blast. Focus Blast is garbage. But Avalanche and Foul Play, both really good. So as far as being an ice type attacker, Weavile will still be behind Mamoswine. Mamoswine is just unstoppable as far as being an ice type goes. If you want like a secondary ice type attacker, or if you're trying to do like a unique Poke Draft, unique 6 types of Pokemon kind of thing, Weavile's there for you. Viable attacker. And then as far as being a dark type goes, it quite possibly, arguably, has the best dark type DPS, circumstances depending. So it might be slightly better than Tyranitar in DPS. Now, as far as that slight gain in DPS goes, how much does that really matter? Because like if you're going for a dark type glass cannon, why don't you just like stop being a coward and just go with the attack form of Deoxys, right? Just push that glass cannon pedal to the metal. Having higher DPS than Tyranitar does go a long way as far as beating down psychic types go. Because like, I don't know, if you look at the Deoxys raids, you don't even have to think. You just use Tyranitar, you don't even care. If you want to beat that raid a little bit faster, then you can tap into the Weavile. Oh, another thing that's interesting about Weavile is that it's got like the best possible scenario as far as the dark and the ice type move pool goes, but its best neutral DPS composition is Feint Attack with Avalanche. So, kind of a blended move pool there. Limited viability, but it's good against the Laddie twins, and it's also good against Giratina, right? So when Giratina comes out, if Weavile is available in the game, which moveset are you going to want to go with? Pure Ice? Pure Darkness? Well, I mean, if it snows, I guess Pure Ice. But outside of weather bonuses, blended moveset's going to be a bit better. So I haven't started working on Giratina graphs yet. Since we do know its move pool, might be a placeholder. I think we're actually going to get that Shadow Sneak, though. But yeah, this guy might be a pretty interesting counter to it. When I graph it out and I do my content like, here's the best counter to Giratina, guys, I guess we'll see where the chips truly fall for Weavile. So that'll be interesting. Then we got Magnezone and both Electivire. May as well double cover them right now. Both got Wild Charge. So like I showed you on this graph before, showing like counters to Blizzard Kyogre, even though, our buddy here, Luxray, got Wild Charge and is still kind of mediocre, Electivire got Wild Charge and it has higher DPS than Raikou. Raikou is overall the better Pokemon, but Raikou is a limited legacy effectively because you can't get it electric type Pokemon. So better overall, but Electivire is what we can actually get. And as far as like Stardust and, rare candy resource management goes, I've got a bunch of level 30 plus Electabuzzes just sitting in my bag waiting to become Electivires. And I only got one powered up Raikou. Good job, Electivire. And then as far as Magnezone goes, Magnezone, this raid doesn't do it true justice because one of Magnezone's greatest selling points is its unique set of resistances. It has the most resistances out of all Pokemon in Pokemon Go. In the franchise, I think entirely. Even out to Gen 7, I think it's still the resistance champion. So in this fight, it's getting some of that because it's up against an Ice-type charge move, but in other fights, you're going to see that its TDO is still more relevant, and having the best possible move pool, Spark might not be the best fast move, but it's not a bad fast move, and Wild Charge being the most busted charge move for electric types right now, definitely really good. So not as good as Raikou overall, but definitely a really solid secondary option. That was a clip from my live stream SwagTips. SwagTips streams every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time on the Twitch channel SwagTips. If you like this content and you want to see more like it, well then make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. And if you got any questions on these Gen 4 Pokemon, well comment below, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer. And if your questions are, well, what about the legendaries and stuff like that? Well, that'll be in future installments of this series. Either you get an hour-long video where I go over everything, or you get, several, chopped up ones. So I had a choice, and I made this one. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you're not familiar, I have a Patreon set up so I can afford a video editor while I'm in school, so I can continue to easily make YouTube videos while keeping up with my studies. If you'd like to support the Swag Man and his uploading and affording a video editor, head on over to patreon.com/swagtips. If you want some hype news on that, we do have SwagTips Central HQ, the Patreon Discord now set up. So if you want to mainline your SwagTips, this is the place to do it.